Hey everybody, Scotty Cobold here, TEI Manager, here to show you some of the features and give you some ideas of different things you can use our new MuscleD Megatron. It has all kinds of different features. You can do really any sort of workout on this machine. As you can see here, we have a tricep rope pull down. You can set the carriage to whatever level you need it at. If you want tricep work, you grab your rope, keeping your elbows close to the body, letting your arms come up above your elbows to get that full stretch in the tricep. You can also set it down low, change out your attachment, and use it for biceps. You can also set the carriages all the way up out of the way and use your J hooks here for an actual squat rack. They go in sideways, lock down so that you have a place to put your Olympic bar. You want to make sure that your J hooks are even. Here we have our Olympic bar. Every gym has one. Now it's loaded in the J hooks. You definitely can squat with it just like this, but we also have safety bars. Again, they go in just like the J hooks. Right here, I'm going between the 16 and the 17. Back up a little bit so that you don't smash into the J hooks. Next up, I'm going to show you how to set up for bench press in the Megatron. As you can see here, I have my safety catches set up. Put them high enough that they'll catch the bar, but low enough that they won't be in the way for your full range of motion. It's also helpful that you can line up the bench on the metal part on the ground. That way you know it's a set point. It's easy to line up every time you want to do bench press. Be careful when leaning back to get into your bench press position. You don't want to hit your head on the bar. I know from experience. Everybody's bench press is going to look a little bit different depending on how you're built, but you want to make sure that you have a little arch in the back. You want your shoulder blades squeezed together and on the bench instead of your spine just resting on the bench. You're going to press off. You're going to bring it down to the sternum and then press back up to about shoulder level. As I'm bench pressing, the safety arms are not in the way of my range of motion. However, if I was suddenly unable to complete the next rep, I can roll the bar up to neck level instead of chest level, but it's preventing the bar from resting on my neck. So I'm safe here and I can get out from under the bar. Next up, we're gonna do some cable work. We're gonna show you how to do some different variations of cable flies. Next, I'm gonna show you how to do some cable flies on the Megatron. I have my carriages adjusted to about shoulder height on both sides. I've made sure to adjust my weight stack to where I want it. Grab the handles, gonna pull them down before I step forward. Take a nice square stance, and I'm just bringing my arms down and forward, keeping the elbows slightly bent, and squeezing the chest when my hands come together. You can play with different hand positions. Sometimes if you lead with your pinkies, you can feel more of an engagement in the lower chest. If you lead with your index finger, you can feel the engagement slightly differently. It's really just personal preference. Brought my hands back together and then step back. I don't want to let the weights just pull my arms backwards. Another option is you can bring the carriages nice and low, around knee height. Double check here. I'm on pin 18. Pull my hands together before I step forward. Now I'm going to work more upper chest, bringing the weight from low to high. Additionally, you can get more shoulder engagement depending on how much you let your arms come in or out. If you just come straight up and down, you get a little bit of chest and mostly shoulder. If you let your arms come out wider and bring them together, you get mostly chest with a little bit of front deltoid. Next, I'm going to show you just a couple points on the Smith machine. So the Smith machine is like an Olympic bar on rails. It has these nice hooks and pegs so that you can spot yourself. So I'm going to get under here for my squat. Push up. I make sure to roll the hooks backwards. Take my squat stance. And I just do my workout. When I'm done, roll the wrist forward and let the weight rest on the pegs. Simple as that. Next up, I'll show you some lat pull down. We have a bench pulled in here. Turn it around from bench press so I can use the leg pad and keep myself in the seat. I'm gonna grab my handles, sit down, wedge my legs underneath the leg pad, and then I'm gonna pull straight down. It's important to remember not to lean back too far and pull away from the roller, because on this machine it has a very narrow window. If you pull it out too far, you will scrape the protective coating off of the cable. Got a couple more things to show you here that are pretty cool. A lot of people say there's no way to work your legs out in the TEIs, and that's fair. You have to get a little bit creative. We do have these ankle straps. Show you how to put them on here. Pretty simple. You just feed the Gym Reapers logo through the D-ring, Velcro it on. Now you have two D-rings together. You want to make sure when you are attaching to the cable that you get through both D-rings. I've already set my weight. You want to make sure that you set your weight before you clip in, otherwise it'll be a little bit harder to reach over and change the weight while you're attached to the machine at the ankle. So here, D-ring 1, D-ring 2. Several different things you can do while you're attached to the low cable like this. You've got kickback. You want to make sure you have a good solid stance. You can hold on, make sure you're not trapping the cable. Keep your balance. We can do hip abductions. So I'm just moving my leg away from the weight stack. And a little bit trickier, but still possible. Find a good stance. Set your off foot a little bit further back so that you can bring your working leg across the front. All right, last thing I'm going to show is how to set up the landmine and a couple different exercises you can do with it. Go ahead and got the landmine attachment set up. It attaches to the frame of the Megatron. You can slide either the Olympic bar into the bigger hole, or if you want to use one of the smaller bars, there is a spot for that as well. There's all kinds of different things you can do. I'm just going to show a couple exercises real quick. One thing is we can take this V-shaped handle, put it around the bar, have a nice flat back, find a comfortable position, and just row. The further you move away from the weight, the heavier it's going to feel. Next, we can talk about rotational exercise for the core and shoulder press with the landmine. You can go either palm holding the end of the bar or hand wrapped around the bar. It's going to change the way the exercise feels just a little bit. Rotational landmines, bringing it down to the hip, slow and controlled from side to side. Now there's variations you can do on these. You can do it from a half kneeling or a full kneeling position. Anything you do kneeling is just going to take away some stability and make it just that much more difficult. That about wraps up this introductory video to the MuscleD Megatron. I hope you found it enlightening. Hopefully it gives you some ideas on how to better utilize the equipment, and tune in next time.